What's up, everybody? Your boy Melv here for another review, and well, it's been a while, but hey, remember, I'm in my finals, so I'll be doing my little by little of these reviews. But October, hey, remember, October is my favorite month, so you're gonna get some surprises, and you know I will. So yeah, so today I'll be doing a review on The Nun 2. I saw this when it first came out. I wanted to do a review on this after I saw it, but due to most of the work I had to do with the university, I'm in my finals. I'm to create my graduate project, which is do a presentation on the final trimester. Hey, gotta make an impression at the panel of professionals in the field of design. But yeah, this is the second and also the second sequel to the first one that came out in 2018 or 2019. Yeah, 2018. And it's the eighth installment of the Conjuring universe franchise. It brings back Taisa Farmiga as Sister Irene. Unfortunately, the actor who plays Father, I forgot his name. He was the priest that was with Taisa's character in the first film, who fortunately couldn't. So they get instead, she has a new assistant, Sister Deborah, played by Storm Raid. And this was quite good actually. Better than the first one. And okay, I was sitting in the front row in the middle. As the movie keeps going, you can hear a lot of people screaming behind me, most were women. Literally, I look like, holy cow. You gotta be kidding me. Most were screaming for that, and others from the cockroaches. But I enjoyed myself. But yeah, before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, you survived it once. You're ready to face it again? I warn you, it's not for the faint of heart. If you're a skeptic, well, rest in peace. You're their bigger target in possession, you academic nitwits. So yeah, the Nun 2 is the sequel to the first one, which it's been a long waiting since 2018. So it's been 5 years. Wow, that's a lot in time. And this was actually discussed by director James Wan. Whew. Yeah, it was directed by James Wan, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, James Wan. Well, technically he wasn't director. He was actually returning as producer. Back in 2017, before the first film came out, Wan discussed a possibility of a Nun sequel and by 2019, Savage revealed that the film was in early development. Cooper was initially hired as the sole writer before Goldberg and Nang contributed as screenwriter to the final script. Chavez, who previously helmed The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which came out in 2021, was the third film of The Conjuring and seventh of the franchise, was announced as director. Principal photography began in 2022 in France, in October in France, which the 2 was released back in September 8th by Warner Brothers and it grossed around $158 million worldwide and received mixed reviews from critics and was generally deemed an improvement over its predecessor. And according to the test views, people wanted more gore, and it delivered. But yeah, and this one I kind of like, and it's like there were rumors there's supposed to be 3 of these films of The Nun, because it's focused on Frenchie more specifically. We recall The Conjuring, where Mrs. Paris was at the lecture when the Warren showing the botched exorcism of Maurice, who was actually turned out to be Frenchie when he committed suicide after. So we're wondering, did Valak been banished or still remains? And how did that demon get to the UK in The Conjuring 2? There's a whole lot of puzzles to be filled. Because the first time we saw Valak was in The Conjuring 2 in a flat in England. Then we saw it in 2018 and an abbey in Romania in the 50s. And now again here in France in the sequel. So, how the hell did this got from Romania to France, and how did it ride to the UK? I have no idea. This is again interesting. I'm enjoying it. And plus, they announced the final film of The Conjuring, which I don't know when they're going to release it. It was the title of it. It's going to be pretty good. To avoid any spoilers, which I think everybody got spoiled. Screw it. I always put a warning in the title, so you'll know. But yeah, the film actually takes place like years, like couple of. Well, the first film was set around 1952, so the next sequel was set in 1956 in Tarascon, France, at a cathedral where we follow Norette and a monaguillo or altar boy named Jacques was performing the chores, mass, while he was putting back the wine, which is a big ass glass bottle. I tell you what, I say wine bottle, but that is a jug right there. That's when Jacques encounters Valak. When they are in the church, when Father Norette and Jacques investigate in the main altar, that's when the counters went out. Father Jacques, sorry, Father Norette has been raised in the air. You hear his bones crack like that, and he's set on fire after seeing. Actually, the first thing you see is the holy water, which is where they baptize starts to evaporate, and this when it evaporates, they see Valak right in the shadows. Father right in there, he bursts into flames right there, and terrified Jacques, and behind the church we see Maurice and a shadow. It turns out, if you recall, in the first film, Valak possessed Maurice before Irene banished it back to hell, which means half of it is in hell, while the other half is inside Maurice. Which, damn. And that scene right there, you see the stained glass lighted by the fire as the priest burns. Jesus. Soon we get to see Sister Irene. Now, serves at a convent in Italy. It falls like years after her event at the monastery of Saint Carfa. Which, of course, as for Maurice, he works at a boarding school as a gardener and janitor, where he befriends a young Irish student named Sophie, including her mother, who's a teacher there as well, named Kate. Which, of course, she's a bit creative. Sister Irene, after a time, she helped her fellow sisters when they were trying to move a truck out of the mud. She used plywood to put under the tire, which they didn't manage. While the sisters are peeling potatoes, one of the sisters mentions the story that happened in the first film, which, of course, Sister Irene didn't join since she knows what actually happened. Which they mentioned that one of them said the priest became a bishop, while the nun, Irene, went insane and sent to an asylum and forgotten. Which, of course, we meet Sister Deborah, who is an African American from Mississippi, which, of course, she's not your typical nun. Remember, I think she's the only American nun. Most of the nuns are like European. Which she became friends with Irene. Of course, back with Maurice, which, oh boy. Let's just say Sister Irene starts to have visions, which of course sees Valak again. She's dispatched by the Cardinal to investigate the deaths, which of course they ask Sister Irene for her help, which of course she says no at first because she knows what exactly happened at St. Carta, which Deborah was eavesdropping, realizing she was the nun from that event. Which of course, mysterious deaths have been happening around throughout Europe. And these connections lead to Romania, which of course Irene fears that the demon Valak has returned. Of course, she takes a train ride along with, and of course, Deborah. Hobbs stole away and joins with her to fun. Which of course, Irene kind of warns her about the dangers of it since her experience back in Romania, and you wander up to the priest. He passed away due to cholera, so yeah, that's what happened to him. Jesus. They arrive at Tarascon, which of course, at first you see the church of the Christ in the Eucharist, which we're exploring. Deborah sees a portrait of the patron saint, Saint Lucy, the patron saint of the blind, which she's okay. This saint is actually the main focus here. So we see Valak's next victim, a delivery girl who actually spots Maury's getting possessed by Valak, and 3, 2, 1, bye bye little girl. She got eaten by Valak. And of course, we got your local bullies, which Sophie's bullied by classmates, and they lock her in a desecrated, sealed-off chapel. The boarding school was originally a church, which, of course, the madam, the headmistress, the headmaster, Madam, what was her name? Madame Laurent, played by Suzanne Burgess, let them have boarding school since she knows this church because her son was an altar boy before his untimely death in the chapel during World War II during the bombings over there in France, which one of the bombs hit the chapel, which he died. And she keeps that locked up because of the painful memory. She even has a photo of him in his altar outfit during prayers, with one of the girls managed to sneak some cockroaches from the wine cellar and pour it in her room. Wow. They're going to get karma sooner or later. But yeah. That's when things started to happen. That's when they started putting two together. That's when they were looking for Jock, the little boy, because he has a rosary belonging to Father Norit. One night when they're trying to get to a hotel, which of course Irene sees a bunch of boys playing football, and she sees Jock until a bunch of them, when the rest of the boys leave, he follows, which of course Irene tries to follow him to ask where's the rosary. She ends up in the alley and finds a bunch of, this place where they sell magazines and that, and start to, the famous scene is where, you see the trailer with the scene of all the magazines start to flip, all the pages, in form of the nun? Yeah. And somehow, she passes out right there as Valak appears. And she has a vision. She sees herself in the middle of the woods and sees a woman in holy garment next to a man in red, looks like a pagan, stabbing her in the eyes. Which is believed she has the vision of St. Lucy. It has a connection between this and the murders as well. And I kind of like it. And it's confirmed that Sister Irene is a ancestor to Lorraine Warren, due to their connections of, seeing through predictions and that. I don't know, this is in the movie verse, not real life, so stay with me right there. But sooner or later, when Deborah finds her, takes her to a doctor, which of course Irene wakes up and sees a connection. That's when Irene and that's when it turns out. That's when she remembers. Well, remember, she knows that Maurice is possessed by Valak because what happened in Saint Carfa. So they both travel to La Palacia de Papes to meet a friend of hers at there, who's the archivist, which he explains that Valak was once an angel rejected by God. And the emblem of Nord's rosary is the crest, the family crest of St. Lucy, the patron martyr who was martyred by pagans. Though she was set on fire, she miraculously did not burn. Her eyes were gouged out, but her family recovered them, but her family was persecuted by the pagans. Over the century, which turns out the victims that were killed are actually descendants of St. Lucy, making Father North the last one. And Valak is looking for the holy relic, which is Lucy's eyes, which would give her holy power. A powerful relic, which turns out the last descendant was a monk who started at the former monastery turned winery, which is now the boarding school. Holy fuck. Things get weirder and weirder, ain't it? But yeah, the film, it gets pretty good. And we get to see a massive. Let's get over it quickly. Right there, at the boarding school. At the school, we see Irene and Deborah face off against a fully possessed Maurice. I think after Maurice and Kate have a little dance, that's when Maurice starts to lose consciousness because Valak is, because Valak is feeding on Maurice like a vessel. And once she gets the relic, she doesn't need it anymore and he dies like that. Like a vampire that needs the blood of somebody to stay alive on a long journey, like in the movie The Last Voyage of the Dementor, where you have the peasant girl who was a sacrifice to keep Dracula alive during his voyage. Like that. Soon, they see Maurice, now fully possessed, which see Valak demands to tie him up first, and we'll go look for the relic until, whoop-de-doo, he breaks free from his bondings. Literally chains and rope. Jesus. They started looking for the relic at the chapel until Sophie mentions the game that the bullies were teasing her about the goat, which turns out to be when the light shines at the ghost's eye, it points the way, which turns out is actually revealing the location of the relic under the floorboard. Oh yeah, fun fact. What happened to the madam? Oh, she did. Valak killed her by using the form of her son, killing her with, I don't know what you call this. Damn. What do you call these, the type of, but the incense and the small thing, the smoke comes in? They swing that? I don't forget what they called. The little boy just beats her with that until a hook falls on her head and scrambles her brains, literally. Jesus. And you got cockroaches on that. Holy cow. But yeah. That's when hell breaks loose. We see, after you find it, Maurice shows up, and oh boy, hell breaks loose. Sophie manages to grab the relic, and where's the goat? Yeah, the goat from the stained glass disappears, and it appears as a physical form, chasing, I don't know who's chasing, I think he's chasing Sister Deborah, and the other girls, which, oh yeah, you remember the bully girl? Oh, she gets stabbed by the horns. She survived, but I think that's karma for her. Soon, Maurice follows Sophie to the bell tower, where she hides until Sister Irene arrives, which calling out Valak the Banisher, which of course, remember, by using the relic, it manages to weaken Maurice, but fortunately it has a price, it might kill him even. Soon, Valak manages to reform, grab the relic, and oh boy. Let's just say, oh boy. But of course, boy. Sorry, I'm done fun. Irene uses the relic against Maurice, but he grabs it, causing Valak to appear. Similar to Fallen Red, Valak lifts Irene and sets her on fire. Irene, surprisingly, does not burn. It turns out, she is a descendant to Saint Lucy, able to harness the power associated with the relic. And oh boy, you have a tense battle. Valak managed to gain that power, almost killed him, by using the vat of wine as a trump card, since the wine has been like some type of like the blood of Christ. It managed to banish Valak permanently. And of course, remember, Irene Deborah prayed the words of institution used in Christian celebration of the Eucharist of the old barrels of wine in the room becoming the blood of Christ. From the belief, their relief, as the blood soaks Valak, the demon is damned back to hell. Next day, everything is alright. Irene meets with Maurice, who's seemingly cured. Irene, however, is worried as Maurice leaves with Sophie and Kate. Oh, that's what. Oh, you have a post-credit scene right there, and guess who appears? Edwin and Lorraine Warren receiving a call from Father Gordon about a haunting. I'm not joking. This was a post-credit scene which I caught me by surprise. And you have a lot of Easter eggs, because there was a scene where I think it was Sister Deborah or Sophie was climbing up the stairs in the boarding school. In the middle of the hallway, you see Valak. And it's the room from the Warren's house from the second film, The Conjuring 2, where Lorraine sees Valak for the first time in the hallway, where her daughter, Judy, tells her, Mom? Who's that? And you see Valak right in the hallway right there. Right there, the same shot. It's like a prediction to the second film. Kind of, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And there's a lot of references. Shit. But this film was actually pretty cool. I praise the production. It's actually pretty better than the first film. And you know how much was the budget for this film? $38.5 million. And it made a box office of $158.8 million. So it was a success. And managed to get their budget. Nice. As for the receptions, by September 17th, The Nun has grossed over $56.5 million in the US and Canada and $102.3 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $158.8 million. In the US, The Nun was released alongside My Big Fat Greek Wedding and was projected to gross $31 to $34 million from 3,728 theaters in its opening weekend. The film made $13 million on its first day and including $3.1 million on the Thursday night preview. It won the debut $32.2 million, topping the box office. In its second weekend, the film made $14.7 million, topping Newcomer by 20th Century, A Haunting in Venice, which, hey, I want to see that movie. And from what I read, these two films are going neck and neck for the top spot. So it's getting good. You know the funny part? This film's in 50% Rotten Tomatoes, while Haunting in Venice is on the 70s right there. So I think it's the best one of the Portiette films. Damn. As for review, well, need I say more? Mixed. Some people praised it. Some people, well, they find the party poopers. No party poopers. Okay. But yeah, folks, to me, I think The Nun 2 was better than the first film, and was released by Warner Bros. Pictures and New Line Cinema. Awesome. And actually, I praised the work done by producer James Wan, including director Michael Chaves. It's actually pretty cool. And it's a good sequel to the first film, which, well, we all remember the first Nun was not that good. But the second one made it more better. But I want to know something. There's going to be a third one. Let me check. I think they're... Let me see. Yeah, it says that Bonnie Aarons, who plays Valak, did a good job, actually. Including... Actually, the film did pretty well. And I'll tell you one thing. It made pretty good money. And I'm still saying who's going neck and neck for the top spot, because you have A Haunting in Venice, which was released last week, and it's going quick sky high. Damn. And I'm always a sucker for these. And plus, A Haunting in Venice is like the first of the Portia films, because the last two, like, you know, The Orient Express and Murder in the Nile, focus on murder and crime. Well, this one's focused on the paranormal in Venice during the Festival of the Masquerade. The Mask Festival in Venice, which... Actually, I do have a mask of the one the gondolier wears in the film. Which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, let me know what you think of The Nun 2. Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it? Did you get scared, or you brought a friend who's like a chicken? Me? I enjoyed it. I kind of laughed because, hey, I ain't seen horror films. It makes me laugh. Those who haven't seen horror films, they wet their pants. But yeah. Let me know what you think of The Nun 2. Did you enjoy it? Comment down below. What was your favorite part? Did you enjoy it? Was it better than the first film? Comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, and remember our goal to hit 1 million subscribers, or at least 500k. Hey, we're going for 12 years, so let's do this. And follow me on TikTok. You'll find the link on my channel, and enjoy some good content. Until then, have a great day, everybody. I think I'll be doing another review on The Haunting in Venice once I see it. So yeah, and I'll be making a trailer for my event in October, like I always do, like I did last year, like my special back in October. I'll be doing something special here as well. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Peace out.